Okay, fantastic. We can always just trim and cut it off. But at least now it's running. My pencil case.
The kids, the children, they gave them to us as presents.
Oh, in the village. That's sweet. That's so sweet. Maybe she wants to do you want to join us? Okay.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Fantastic. Okay, so here we are with here we are today with Abderrahim from the High Atlas Foundation, who's very kindly going to talk to us about the community participatory management system that they use. What is the correct terminology that you use?
Participatory method.
Yeah, the participatory methods that they use. To get the communities to support the communities, I guess, really, to serve the communities.
Yeah.
We're just going to try and learn about that for hopefully supporting a forest garden to come forward here and everywhere else where this is useful. Thank you. How does it work?
Yeah, thanks. Well, today the activities that we're going to be following is a pairwise ranking.
Okay.
Pairwise ranking. And what we call social mapping and resource mapping. And dream mapping. I think 4 activities is enough for this morning.
Sounds good.
Because if not, they're going to be exhausted, and which might affect the result after.
Okay.
Then the pairwise ranking is we're going to just create a list of projects that people want. And let's say, for example, let's say like they want clean drinking water, they want to plant trees, and they want to build a botanical garden for the school, and what else? Any other project?
Some kind of sewage system or waste system.
Yeah, waste system. Let's say compost, for example. Okay, then for the list we have 2, 4, 5, and the 5 projects. Then we create a matrix called pairwise ranking, where we just go, planting trees, botanical gardens.
You don't put Dharma on the floor.
Waste system, composts.
Okay. So you make a grid with all the items down one column.
Yep.
And then what are the rows? I mean, the items are in the rows, and the columns are...
They're the same, like in both sides.
Okay.
And planting trees, wastes, management, composts. And as you know, like we're gonna ask them to compare projects per pair. And we can't compare clean drinking water by clean drinking water. Then we just... And the same with planting trees and planting trees. Botanical garden can't be chosen versus botanical garden. The same with waste management and compost projects. Then this is like symmetric. The same data, the same results we can get on this part are going to be the same on this part too. Then we're going to work just with this matrix, half matrix. Then we're going to ask the community, what do you want? Which project is the priority? Is it planting trees or clean drinking water? That's it, so both. And they're going to say, for example, let's number this, let's code them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then let's say clean drinking water or planting trees, they will say we want a clean drinking water, which is 1, code 1. Botanical garden or clean drinking water, they will say clean drinking water. Waste management and clean drinking water, let's say, for example, I would say clean drinking water. compost or clean drinking water, it will always be clean drinking water.
Yeah.
And we're gonna ask them, what do you want? The planting trees or botanical garden? And then they will say, for example, we want to plant trees. Planting trees or waste management, then maybe planting trees. Compost or plant trees, they will say planting trees. Vice versa. In the end, we count how many the code one appeared. For example, here 2, 4, then 4 times. The same with number 2, which is planting a tree. It's 3 times.
And every different member of the community has 1 vote.
The whole community, they vote together.
Yeah.
Then we just ask them together, and they think about the project, which is like they would prefer, and they will give us the reason why they prefer, for example, or why they choose clean drinking water over, for example, planting trees.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because as I said, it's their decision, and when they make a decision, they have a reason behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Then they are gonna give us the reasons too.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then in the end, we're gonna know which project is the priority for them.
Okay.
And it's participatory. It's a community decision. And like we didn't just come and said like, okay, guys, we're gonna build a school here.
Yeah.
What do you think? Well, definitely, if they don't pay or they don't contribute, they will say, okay, well, if you want to buy or build a school, then that's fine with us.
Yeah.
But is that like really what they need? Then it's not a democratic way. Then this is the most efficient method for choosing project. We use also social mapping. Social mapping, when it's a method that you use in the early stage when you start working with the community, and that's where you ask people to draw a map of their community, of their village. Then the social mapping is about the infrastructure, where the mosque is and how many households and a fountain and the stores, these sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
Resource mapping is about where the forest is located, where there are lands, terraces, the clean drinking water, river, streams. And the dream mapping, after you draw, like we can combine the three maps,
Mm-hmm.
the social mapping, resources mapping, and dream mapping, and we ask them, okay, this is your village that you guys draw. Where do you want the project to be? And what do you want in your village? They will say, okay, in this part we want a school. In this part we want to plant trees. And you'll see, like, once they draw the river, you will know why they choose the lands, for example, here, because there is enough water to irrigate the trees. And why they choose the school here, it's because it's close to the village. That's their perception.
Yep.
And their understanding about things.
Yeah.
And that is very, very important.
Yeah, and it's also very valuable. It opens up a lot more possibilities as well. If someone's like, hey, well, you know, I would... so at the moment we only have this one field here. But if we work with the community and then, well, yeah, if you want to bring in this, you can do some training event on my land or something like that, and it's more suitable. We already have toilets or something like that built in. These types of things may become available as well, right?
Yeah. And as I said, like, if they participate in these activities, then they know already about the projects, and they might help too.
Yeah.
And as you know, water is an issue here in Morocco. Then they can be flexible about using their own water in the village, and they might help also irrigating the trees, taking care of the nursery, and yeah, because that's the most important things for to start the project.
Yeah.
They need to be involved.
Yeah.
Every day. They need to feel it's their own project.
Yeah. Absolutely, I agree 100%.
And the project needs to be like for the community. It's not only 1 or 2 persons who come to the nursery, and it's the foundation. It's the foundation project. It's managed by the foundation, but the foundation needs to be aware of how the community can participate, and they have total rights to express themselves, or like if there is any conflict or anything, then they have the rights to.
And they have tools to be able to conflict resolute.
Yes.
This is what we do. I work with cooperatives, so it's all about that. If you want to hold a special meeting, you can email everyone and say, right, we have an issue, we want to hold it. If the board of directors don't respond, everyone else can come together and represent the board of directors. So, like, you know, if board of directors aren't doing their job and dealing with issues, and there's enough people that vote and say, yeah, but this is an issue for us, if no one responds, then they have the power of directors to start making decisions, which is a really, I think, beautiful way to empower people, because it's like, look, this is your cooperative. So, with regards to ownership in that respect, how do people then take ownership of this project, of this garden? And if, let's say, they're working in the garden and the garden starts to sell...
Sorry.
No worries. Who's there? You don't need to get it?
That's the driver.
Okay. So in a cooperative, everyone's managing the cooperative and they're all deciding...
Oh, it's a beer.
No, not the driver. No, it's another driver.
Okay. Okay, so everyone's... they actually, as they become a member, you become an owner. You can have one share as a sort of a nominal value, but that share has value, and your position has value. You have one vote, depending on what that will direct the cooperative, and on how much money is shared to who for what. You have a say in what happens legally. Here, if we start to sell walnuts and almonds and things, and it starts to make money, how do people feel that they're, well, one, how are they remunerated? Is it a payment thing, or how is this going to enrich people's lives if it isn't economically, or if it is economically? How does that work with your system?
You mean the complex?
Well, with the structure, so what we're doing is community participation, getting them involved. But what are we getting them involved in? It's not like they become members of a cooperative, or is it right to set up a cooperative for a garden like this so that they all become shareholders? Or
I would rather say they are already community members, and there is what we call this concept of jma'. Jma', it's kind of a traditional concept for association or cooperative.
okay,
And the decision of jma' is stronger than any other kind of like gathering can think about.
okay,
Yeah. Then if they sit together, like whenever there is a problem in the village, they sit together and they make their own decision. In the mosque,
how do you spell that, Juma?
jma' it's GM AAT.
Okay.
That's in Berber, jma'at.
Okay, fantastic.
Do you want tea or anything? Do you want tea? Tea?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want tea?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I'll bring it up.
8 sugars in mine, please.
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Thank you. That's the sugar, isn't it?
Yeah, that's concept is very important here in the village in Tansar.
This is the traditional government.
Yes.
Local, distributed, decentralized.
Any conflict, anything that can happen, then people they sit together and they resolve the problem. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's the only way it works, and that's why I wanna like gather people, and I want them to think about it.
Okay.
Because we're gonna hold the meeting today, we're gonna leave, but there is another discussion. They are gonna go back to their village and just start talking about it. You see,
Okay.
then okay, they're gonna build a nursery for us. Okay, what's the benefit? See, then this relationship it will be developed
Okay.
through time. And one meeting, 2 meetings, 3 meetings is not enough.
No.
Then the whole process from building the nursery until grafting the trees, distributing the trees, it's gonna be always meeting with the community.
Okay.
Then this is very, very, very critical. It's very important.
Okay. So
for
the
the
thing
success of the project.
is to try and get people at the Eve Branson Foundation, who are working here regularly, working with community participatory development, working with this methodology, so that when there is a decision that needs to be made, or at least to have regular meetings. We work with these regular scrum meetings in our cooperative. Every week you have a stand-up meeting. People talk for a minute about what's important to them, and if people are going to start up new scrum tasks, then that's what they get up and do. And it's like, all right, I need someone to pair up with me to do this task. Will anyone? Maybe lots of people come and help you.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's like the same thing. Big room. It sounds just like Gamat. Oh, sorry, how do you pronounce that?
Jama'.
Juma.
I feel like Jamal,
Jamal.
like Joy, Joy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the thing I think really is to get Eve Branson Foundation, like or Abderrahim or someone, if is willing to help facilitate these meetings to take place with the young men. I'm here for like this 1 week, but I would like to come back. But one of the things I would like to do here is work out a time when I could come back and either start to plant trees or do the next step in all of this, and then just to be able to come back and. But I don't want to be like a leader in any of this. I'm trying to just be like a servant, facilitating something that wants to happen here, and helping with some of the technologies that I have. And like, look, I'd like to work with these things. Does anyone want to work with me on this? If everyone's like no, then hey, everyone's like no. But I really would like to experiment with these things and try a way to do that. So I can encourage these things to take place, but I won't be here all the time. Is there someone, do you think, that we can train up in these skills?
We can train up someone. We can go for like a partnership with the High Atlas Foundation, and the High Atlas Foundation can cover these things. Like, we will be happy to go for, as I said, a partnership.
Wow.
And as you know, people that are going to plant these trees, the walnuts, the cherry, for example, but what's going to happen after? We're involved in really large scale of plantation and marketing and with other villages, then and we cover this area. Then why we don't create like a partnership with the High Atlas Foundation, and this village is going to benefit from other nurseries of the High Atlas Foundation.
And it's not too small for you. It's only quite a small field. It's not...
This is nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, then we can even like with Branson's foundation, we can work with other villages instead of only Tansaghar, and we can do really well.
Okay.
This is like Tansaghar. This is nothing. If we work together, we can cover another 10 or 12 villages easily.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Then instead of Branson Foundation just stay like to focus here, together we can focus on the whole valley. You see? Okay. And instead of one village, we can work with 12 or 15 villages. Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, your capacity is incredible, and this is something which is a dream to me, because getting one garden started up in one community has been difficult, because I haven't worked with these principles and these practices where you get it landed with the people, directed by the people. I think that's the key.
Yeah, that's the key. They're the key player. Got excited.
So, her and Hafata, they just laugh all the time. Okay, so. That seems straightforward. Now, how can I help this process best, do you think? I mean, if I'm in the UK, we can have events to raise funds, and what are the costs involved for the High Atlas Foundation to do this? Because
we always train locals, because our aim, as I said, is the sustainability. We want this project to be sustainable, and to be sustainable, we want to train local people.
Awesome.
Because once we work, for example, in a village for a year or 2 years or 3 years, after that we leave, but we want to leave behind us someone who can manage and supervise all these projects, and that's why always we train local people.
Okay.
We've been involved training 1,400 people, farmers here in the valley of Asni, and it was about agriculture, participatory method, and we've been supported by MIPI, Middle East Partnership Initiative, and with NED, National Environment Democracy. We always have their support, and if Tansaghar, this village, or other villages that's Branson Foundation wanna like work in, then we can work together and we can just move on.
Okay. Now, so does that mean that? I mean, what would be great for me, what I would love to do, is in the UK have some big parties, a percentage of the income, or when we're raising funds for these charities, can pay for training to happen out here.
Yeah.
And then we're starting forest gardens, and but how much roughly would it cost to train up some locals? And
it won't cost so much. It's I would say 1% or 2% of the whole project.
Okay.
The training.
Okay, but I mean, just the whole project. I don't know how much that would cost.
Well, it depends how many trees you want to plant.
Okay.
You see, then if you want to plant, for example, let's say 20,000 trees.
Okay.
That might be 100,000 dirhams.
Okay, but we only have a relatively. Oh, do you mean 20,000 seedlings, or do you mean
Nuts.
nuts to growing?
Yeah, and they become trees after that.
Okay, but we only have quite a small bit of land here.
No problem with that, because you just plant between like one nut and the other nut. It's only 15 centimeters. Or
So you're
20
selling
centimeters.
seedlings, basically.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
and they're like 2 years. They're that big.
Yeah.
See,
Okay, thank you so much.
and they can produce quickly. And by meeting people today, we can have more lands.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
we talk to them and they say like, okay, this is a project, we're gonna plant 4,000. What you guys, what you think? It's like, why 4,000? Why we don't plant, for example, 10, 12,000? We don't have enough land. We have land.
Okay.
Okay, can you guys use this land?
Okay.
Then you will see. They will suggest things to us.
Okay. And this is a sort of a business model as part of high atlas agriculture that's feeding into.
Yeah.
So is it like where the profits that are being made from this group selling it is going to the Eve Branson Foundation, or how does that work?
We don't sell the trees.
No, they're just given to the communities.
We give the trees to the communities for symbolic price. For
That
example,
covers-
let's say for 1 dirham
Okay,
or
okay.
half dirham. It's just to cover, for example, the land that we've been using.
Yeah.
You see, and one tree can cost 20 dirhams. It can cost 15 dirhams.
Okay.
And paying 1 dirham or half dirham for a tree, that's nothing for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also good to know who wanted the trees and who don't want to like plant the trees, because if you just give them away, all the trees for free, they are gonna ask for more, and they might just dry it and use it as a firewood,
Okay. Yeah.
or just resell it again in the market
Yeah.
instead of see. Then by selling it for 1 dirham, even if it's symbolic, then people, they're gonna buy it, but you're sure that they're gonna plant it. We have experience.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I've
in
experienced that as
yeah.
well. If you give things for free, people are just like,
Yeah.
they don't think it's worth anything.
Yeah,
Sometimes, some people.
yeah.
Okay, so Eve has a vision to try and make this incredibly useful for the community. I think that is like beyond what we could have possibly hoped for. It's so awesome. I'm just trying to think practically in terms of scale in the UK. If we were to start with this field and there was, let's say, 10 people that were interested in working with it, to set up a nursery for producing walnut, almond trees, or any other kinds of trees, how much are the costs roughly for that? For this small area here?
But I don't know like how the size of the land.
Okay, we can go have a walk around.
Can you just give me an idea? And
Maybe half a no. So
If
in
it's a half
acres,
hectare,
it's about 1 or 2 acres. But
it's really big. It's huge.
Yeah?
We can do 300,000 trees
okay. So
easily.
you were saying it's 100,000 dirham, which is like in pounds. That's like only 1,000 euros.
I don't know exactly in pounds, but
Is it?
in euros that's
10,000
10,000 euros. Yeah.
Okay, totally doable. It would be a few good parties
Yeah.
we may have to have,
Yeah.
because we can raise about £1,000 a party. It takes quite a bit of time to organise one though. But if Eve can help organise the parties
Here.
back in the UK, because that's where I am most of the time, to organise a party here, and it would be kind of Casper Tamadot is run by the corporate side, and they are, they just handle people who want to come on holiday. They run a hotel. So to organise she could organise a party here. She has her fundraiser with the King doing the polo match and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I think they raise a lot of funds there. She has another one, Rock the Casbah, which they have out in the States. So she's got awesome fundraising opportunities already. I just like to, if I'm helping start a project, I can try and help.
Well, let's go for 1 million trees.
1 million trees, really?
Yeah.
In this area here. Okay.
Not only in the village.
Okay,
Whole
great.
area. 1 million trees.
Okay. So
You aim big,
okay.
you reach something.
Okay.
Development is going really slowly here in
Yeah.
Morocco. Then we really need to go a bit faster.
Yeah.
That's the opportunity.
Okay.
So if we got all these potentials, then
Yeah.
putting them together, and we have to aim a bit
Okay.
higher.
So 10 grand. So now we're talking 100 grand, 100,000. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
okay. Our thinking was with here is create an example of something which we can then show to people.
Yeah.
You've already got lots of examples of these things working all over the place. This guy Pierre Hubert, who is the CEO of Maya Gold and Silver, he sent me an email this morning. I've just got back. I'll give you a call later. But he's very interested in this for his silver miners to help give back to the communities and to the environment. So there's groups like that who potentially could invest a lot, and we could partner with, saying like, look, here, we're getting this working. So I would say working in steps is probably a good idea. If we'd say like, look, for 10,000 we can grow 100,000 trees. And we can turn this into a very productive nursery that is a champion of community development and participation, developing skills. It's running a training program that's helping this to grow and spread out into other areas. If we set like a first step that we're working towards, and then we're looking in lieu of to get 1 million trees planted. This is our first step, and this is getting the project started.
I'm saying like after this project, then we can aim for a real partnership and go for something higher.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, I think that those are the kinds of groups who could do that.
Yeah.
That's outside of my capacity at the moment. Maybe inside of Eve's, and we can present it to her, and she'll be like, no worries, okay, 100 grand, we can aim for that, 1 million trees in the area, it's a lovely idea, and she'll be able to steam.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm trying to get some money for the laboratory we're building now, and that would be now I would have to become a Moroccan forest gardener. hardcore, like completely. My hope was just to try and support Eve by introducing her to the groups that could support her and learn from them and stuff. So yeah, I think that we can intend that.
Well, learning, if you spend enough time with this community here, you won't believe it. You're going to learn lots.
This is some of the most advanced agriculture I've ever seen. They
It
take
is?
the water and they lift it up as high as they can down the valleys.
This is nothing. You have to go a bit higher to the valley feminine,
Okay.
and you'll see.
Plaster.
Oh, have you hurt yourself?
No, I have just got her.
Oh no,
You haven't?
I had one in the shirt pocket that you gave me from your house.
Which shirt pocket?
The one I was wearing when I came out, the other green shirt. Okay. Oh, sorry, Hefta. Oh.
Oh,
Or-
did she
She cut
cut
herself.
herself? Oh, okay.
All right. Well, should we go have a look at the land?
Yeah, sure.
And
Definitely.
yeah, I think that's a good intention. Working towards 100,000 trees to start off with here, and in lieu of gaining some more support or getting more support to you guys to spread out elsewhere.
Okay.
So, if I can raise, I think first point would be if I can raise £1,000. If it's 1%, that's 10% of 10,000. If I can raise 1,000 to get to you or to someone at the High Atlas Foundation to provide training locally, that's like baby step. The next step is we get that running up at 10,000, right, after the training's done. So we're getting up towards the 10 grand. And then we can look towards going towards 1 million. And then after we've got 1 million, you know.
Because that's one of our aim now, and we are involved in. Well, we're thinking like to reach that number by in 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1,000 is for training.
Maybe Yusuf is gonna be here on Friday if you have time, like to meet with him and have a talk with him. He can
He's going to
explain
come
more.
down, or is he going to be in
Yes.
Marrakesh?
He's gonna be in Marrakesh.
Okay.
But he can meet you here in Asni too.
Well, he wrote to me, said that he's busy on both nights because he's got
Friday.
the TED Talk and he's got a dinner with all the people from at Vanessa Branson, Eve's daughter's place.
okay.
And Eve doesn't wants me to stay here and focus on this.
Yeah.
She doesn't want me going all over the place.
Distracted, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he might find time, or maybe you guys can talk on the phone and.
Yeah. So that's 10. That's 100,000 trees. This is just step 1, step 2, and then step 3 is 1 million. 1, 2, 3, and that's with neighbouring villages.
Which is quite a lot.
Okay, so this is now all going to HAF, not to the Eve Branson Foundation. So this is how it's going to go specifically to the Eve Branson Foundation, EBF, working with this.
Yeah,
And
partnership.
yeah, okay, so that makes sense. I'm helping Eve with doing the accounting and things for her not-for-profit, and then doing things that are for-profit, and basically getting donations. So there's a charity set up in every country where she receives them, rather than going via other third parties which are doing their fundraising for them, because they won't let them get access to their funds unless they do every single bit of paperwork. And they're saying, on the ground here, we have to do things like that. Here's a little bit of incentive for you if you let us do this, and here's a little bit of incentive for you if you let us do this, which you can't really do the paperwork for. So they're trying to get it all into their own hands now. So maybe we can work out an account specifically for this, and have a nice board of people who are in charge of that, and that can be organized by the Jamaat.
Okay, sure. I can even email you something about the cost of the nursery, like selling stuff and materials you need here.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, brother.
Are you filming or photoing?
Filming.
Is it recording?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Okay, good. Okay, so what does everyone think about that? It's good stuff, though. That's good. It's good.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, the idea is positive, that we can all decide together what we do with a foundation that's trying to help the community, right? Yeah. So the community decide what is the priority, and then we act on that.
Yeah, and the community will decide what the priority is, or what's not the priority.
Yeah.
They know what they need.
Yeah.
And they will explain it clearly to Abderrahim, and Abderrahim will understand it, I think.
Okay. And then it's the Eve Branson Foundation must decide if they will respond to what the community's wishes are when that's clearly put to them, and we can all make our cases. Look, we think it's better if we dig a well there where Aziz is, and we get started with this project for creating the tree nursery. It will generate more wealth for this community fund, which we can then spend on putting up another well higher up, or maybe we can work out on both, work out what the costs are, and we can raise funds to get this sorted out. Then the community fund is making more and more money, and then it's able to do more and more things that the community decide. So it's pretty, it works. That would work.
إلا حتى المحل سني غير غادي هو ما ندرك إلا لا يقدر يستفيد حتى البول كله
أزور سني فعلا كذا يصبرون يتسياد سلوك قدامنا الدلوني
يقدر كل يغرس كل شيء
غنري تعاون غنري
كل شيء البول ولا كل شيء كله
قمتي حتى مشروع دولي حتى كان هاشري يقول لك هذا ديالو
ولكن تسمي هو ذاك لكن ما عبد الرحيم هادشي شي عبد الرحيم غادي غير يسرح حتى يوقف هذه سنه هو داير وقتي زاد نبدلو قدام خدمو بيسكر المشكل
كنا راه مشروع
صافي يخدم بنادم ريت نغري بنادم سيارات داش
يلا
البلاد منين ما كيلو صغار أتي لا درسنا غير
البلاد تيونيك
يكثر الوكالة لا غادي يكثر الوكالة ديالك تاع 16000 شهر نقول ديالك تاع 6
البول
إذا خاص
عادات غدا بالفقير دار
خاصة كنسمي هذيك النقطة
إذا خاص
أكل نسبين كناس قومت
The land may be too small.
Yeah, too small.
Okay. That's something.
The land where they supposed to be
Okay.
used for the.
That's cool. Well, this is a good thing about this process. If people say, well, look, here is some land, do it here.
And it's too small for everyone. Then do you have gardens?
Does anyone else have bigger land available?
إيش اللي كنا نيضنا يقولون.
إلا وين كنا إلا وين البيع
There is places for sale. There is places for rent.
Okay. So, okay, the other thing about that land where Eve is, the field next door is for sale, and the other two fields are for sale. So we could buy a lot more land.
They can both. جور لكن هيك حكام مسند سخن انك تي قنت لي البيع عرفت نتزين لو نسن هيك حكام مسند سخن اكل يدن زين نديري
وما كل لا
Yeah. And exactly. The whole thing makes money now. The more you do, the more money it makes. Yeah, I did say that bit already. So that all the profits go to the community fund, and the eBrands Foundation has a share. They can do with their share what they want because they're funding the starting of it. The community can do with their share what they want. Super cool.
So we just got to make investment.
Well, if they don't, we can use local farm and do it ourselves. Business. Yeah. Use the foundation to become good, but I think better go with EBF because they got cool friends and they brought us out here, so the energy's good.
Yeah. And they got knowledge.
شوف
I know Charlie said this before, but I just want to say fundraising, making money in England to give to like HAF, well only give the money if I know it's going to the community and to the right thing. So we are also putting our trust and thinking properly about this whole thing because it's like our work in England is going towards for you. We want to do everyone and otherwise we won't. Yeah, so we're like making sure.
عرفت التاوين بنيان اللي نحتاج نخدم جا رياضي إنك اثنين وراجل تقال مالي اللي خدم كورا اثنين خدموا اللي تسمون الفلوس خدموا العمل سميتو عمل جماعي خيري صافي بلا التاوين قرن زغمان نظير التاوين اللي ورا تيرات ناوين كاجلو لك إنك تيرين تنزرن خدمنا
Can I tell you the best bit though? The best bit though, the way that we can make money is by having parties. Parties.
Because I play the violin and I play for lots of people, thousands, and then they give money and I bring it to charity. Yeah.
And Lettuce is very good at the violin. But we have lots of musicians and lots of people can make. But you know we have the best parties and lots of. That's good.
Michael Jackson. Chanson like Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that.
So Eve Branson, she also has big parties, big parties, and gets lots of people to give money. So that's another way. And she has this polo event with the King of Morocco. So these are ways that we can raise money to do the training. Step 1, step 2, to build the nursery. If we need more fields, we add that. And we just have bigger parties, more parties. We get more people to support it because it's a good cause. And locally, if you want to raise funds, get the music going and get people in the community to put into the middle. And we use this organisation, so we have this community structure. Now, in the UK, it's not easy to do this because people work in offices and don't want to work outside. But here, it's possible. So this is a great opportunity to do what everyone wants to do. Yeah.
باش نساش نعاون بزاف
تعاون مساعدهم
بزاف بزاف
اش كاين كاين مثلا افعال تكمل
افعال
You're doing a psychic thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the dream, man. This is living the dream.
You, as people that live in the mountains, are very special because you are very at one with nature. You understand nature, and it's very rare. It's very special. Like the children, they play outside and they eat apples and they play with the ground and the animals, and that's really special. You don't
They
get
live in a
that.
nature way.
Yeah.
It's a very special thing.
It's very rare now.
نغير كان سبيشال نتكلم حاجتي كان سبيسيال ولكن عاديين
سوق قدم
ماشي سوق قدم دا تعيش نرد نصدر دي فورس برا تلعب وكا على ريش
لازم الامن
عادي ولتي والو تعلق نص الطبيعه تعلق نص السدرات تعلق نص الغرس تعلق نص السيف ماشي زون
Yeah, and then we can come and learn from you, and we can move in. I'm moving in with Aziz. Cuddle up.
But yeah, it's very special. You guys really know how to live in
Okay, but if we set an example here, if this works here, like 300 villages are working with this thing now in Morocco. But then if this example works, we can do it in other countries where they have, they're really hungry and they really need to work. This model can help agriculture with forests, is very sustainable, it can be copied and help lots of people. So this is the reason
they can provide also to ask. They can provide trees to plant in the forest.
Anything you need, wood, medicine, fiber, whatever you need in a nursery, you can produce.
Like, for example, the government here used to plant forests.
Okay.
Government lands. They can produce.
Yeah. Whatever the community wants. They say we need this. Everyone says yes, we want this. Then they can produce it.
كامل كذا كل شيء كاليتوس دا ولا تيدا ولا كل شيء حاجة ترسست اللي خسر إن رانا
Okay.
Three things or maybe four. Apple, peach, plums,
Cherries.
cherries are not بالملوك البارح.
لا البلديه خصك الغاء الجو.
Cherries once they need cool places.
Okay.
We get
A bit higher.
Up higher.
Okay.
The mountain. It's good. Here it's too hot.
Tous les apples.
Aziz, are you getting this? Cherries.
Yeah. tous les apples.
Apples, peach,
كلوت.
You're gonna make it, don't worry.
أي جميع أنواع التفاح تقدمهم.
Okay, it's three things.
Yeah, any kinds of plums. Yeah.
Okay, but then maybe saffron. Saffron, 1 kilogram
Saffron.
كيلوغرام الزعفران
1 كيلوغرام
of saffron. 1,000. I think
1 مليون.
1
كيلوغرام.
Yeah, 1,000 euro. Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. Saffron. There's a guy who hopefully comes tomorrow. Is he coming tomorrow? Did he say he could make it? I think he's coming. 8:30.
No, he's got work.
Oh, he's got work. But he came. 4 o'clock.
No, we're going to him.
Yeah, okay.
الزعفران دبلينغ.
So there's lots of options, but once you have a place to grow stuff and then move it out to your own fields where there's people really working the land and try different varieties, and it belongs to the community, that is so valuable.
غير يبدو بعدا المشروع هناك باش السفن سميتو الدفاع الاولى نغرس نهض الاعشاب نرد الزون الزعفران حاجه وكان وقتا الرئيس بان يستخدم الحاجه ثانيه هو دمار يخدم دمار السو اللي يخدم.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool. Well, I hope this works. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you very much.
It's like from our heart. We love you guys.
Welcome to my house.
Yeah, you all have very kind hearts.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's true.
because دارون تكون طيبين مزيان تفرق بالنون ولا تلقى
الرغزري
Okay.
هذا راه
لا عندي شويه
لا ما هذا الحمد لله
لكن
كي كيبروني وصاحبي واش كيخدم لا ما الحمد لله
هذا تنزل هذا تيتينا وجا عزيز اي واحد اسيدي عزيز اي واحد
انا زيد في الكاميرا
سند بلاد جميل اي واحد التشكيل صغير
الصغار تيتيني
التشكيل صغار راه كيتيني المليح.
ويلكم تو موروكو
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Welcome to my house the town.
Thank you, everybody, because this is like.
Charlie may move to.
Okay, time to go. Okay.
If there is anything you want to add.
No, just thank you very much. This is a really awesome opportunity. People don't do this anymore, and it's like so necessary. In the West, in the way our cities work, it's destroying the planet. If we need to live back with nature and working, that is our prime thing, making trees, making the ecosystem. If we don't have that, with my grandchildren living in the English system, there's no hope, there's no future. This is the only hope that we have, like, to go forwards.
You know, I understand the idea, but some people will not get it.
No, come, look,
If you explain it, if we take care of our
اسم بيبي خلي احمد اسم بيبي.
our place here, if we plant plants, keep it green,
صبت خلي احمد.
the environment will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we destroy it, our next generation.
But if from where we come from in England, and there's big cities in Europe, they are destroying so much.
كذا تدمر الوقت تفهم كل شيء تبينا صغار كري غيتبيو صغار رتيل الفيضان بزاف رتيل الحراره
نجي الرطوبه.
يا رتيل 30 يغلو صغار هناك تخسر كل شيء حتى تلوان نديفتون باش كاين المثل العربي غار سوف اكلنا نغرس فياكلنا الشجره في الدباك داير الدار غرسن رسين دي الشتا كتكي ولكن خصها كتغرس الشجره منين فاش كيو بديت كيو كديسنيو كيف ندوي ندير الزن باش كيخدني كيما داك الصوت كيف غادي انت كل شيء
So this is like a hope that we can live this kind of agriculture. And this is like we really need this for the grandchildren, for the next generations.
الناس كلهم غادي بلا صدق يا نومان
موسيقى خصها تابع على الشامبينيا.
Hey!
Yeah.
Oh man.
Thank you, everyone. It's good.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bless you.
Excited.
Okay, so inshallah. Bless you. Okay, so where are we heading now?
We're heading to Tedmemt village,
Okay.
the nursery there.
And how long has this tree nursery been set up?
2 years ago.
Really?
We started the nursery in 2011, winter of 2011, January.
Okay.
And they're now grafting the cherry and the walnuts, and that's part of the process of the nursery. It's good that you guys you're gonna like see how they graft the trees there. Actually, it's the same thing we're gonna be doing here in the Tansagart village too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And the productivity of this garden, do you know how much it's producing every year?
This is the first nursery in Tedmemt, and we don't know yet exactly how much, but I think we're getting really a good result there. Yeah.
So roughly, is it about 10,000, 20,000, 30,000?
No, it's 50,000 in total. It's 10,000 cherry and 14,000 walnut.
Wow, 50,000 baby trees, and the community there, they're selling them as at a 1 dirham a rate, or do they try and raise more funds for the community?
No. We're just gonna sell them for 1 dirham to the community.
Yeah.
And probably for free for some household.
Okay.
Like the poorest one. But otherwise, we're not looking to make any money from that nursery because we are supported by.
Okay, so someone has made a charitable donation,
Yeah.
and they want that to go to the people.
Yes.
They don't want it to be.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with the E. Branson Foundation, they are trying to make it so it's a self-sustaining business for the people. What price do you think that it needs to be so that it can start to cover the costs of setting it up and training and grow and start renting other fields and stuff?
Well, I can't say anything right now because I don't know like how wealthy they are or how poor they are, and it's like the price need to be with the community. It's the community who can tell us like how much they can pay.
Okay.
And it's like a price that is reasonable, because these sort of things, making money that's to ensure the sustainability of the projects, it might affect the relationship with the community and create conflict, because the community will think that Branson Foundation, they're making money through the projects, and the project is just donation from someone else and they're making money.
Yeah.
Then they really need to be involved in all the steps, and this need to be clear from the beginning and need to be written in a paper. And I don't think that can be a problem after, but they really need to talk.
It needs to be clear.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
4 dirham for a tree is nothing, right?
That's 4 dirham. Who can offer 4 dirham?
Really?
Like someone who make 20 dirhams a day. If he buy 2 trees, that's almost half of his income.
Okay.
Daily income.
Really? Is that about the average 20 dirham a day?
There is some people they make nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Okay. I see. So maybe it's important to make some trees.
20 dirhams is not an average, but I'm just saying that this can be possible.
Yeah.
But I know exactly that they can't make more than 40 dirhams or 50 dirhams, which is about $4.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I mean,
2 trees, 4 trees, 5 trees, that's nothing. Like if we're gonna give people, then they need like to plant at least 50 or 60 or 100 tree per person.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is gonna help them. And 100, that's 400 dirhams. That's almost like 500 dirhams.
Yeah. Okay. So you're basically doubling, tripling, quadrupling the price.
Yes, that's how much he can pay per year to pay for his daughter, to cover his daughter's schools or his kids' school.
Well, I think that if we charge 4 dirham in the first year, and if you sold 30,000 trees, you then have paid your the price of $10,000 to set up the nursery. You can raise $10,000 like that. That's how much you cover the price of building a nursery. So maybe if you make it half the price, then you can. It takes 2 years. And if you make it a quarter of the price, it takes 4 years. And that's normal for a business to get started to take 4 years.
Yeah, but that's his development. And you should be careful, like talking about these sort of things with the community as a business.
Okay.
Because their perception and their understanding of developments doesn't work this way. And
I know, it's more like a charity kind of idea.
Well, I won't say a charity, but they have like a different concept about things, different understanding. That's why I'm saying, like, for this agreement, it needs to be discussed directly with the community, and whatever the decision they make, then
stick with it.
that's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Every single details, every single things need to be discussed with.
I agree. Every single detail must be discussed, and the idea I think that would be inspiring to the community is that, like, look, if it is run more like a business and they do think like the Bransons and they do get onto their wavelength, then this is a community fund that they're generating.
Yep.
And the participatory government structure is allowing them a way to get together, and now they have a community fund which they can build community wells for, they can build community services for. And if they need a sewage system, they can raise funds like that. So the more, and then you have to of course do that demand and supply curve, and then it must also, the foundation's charitable kind of criteria, its public benefit criteria have to be met. It can't be a business, it must give things away to benefit the people. So I'm feeling like it could be a really good model, but you're right, I have to be really careful that the people see it as theirs and they own it.
It can be interpreted easily in a wrong way by the community because of the conflict with the staff of Branson's Foundation.
Yeah, if the Branson's 50% is donated trees, either free or 1 dirham, and the other 50% that they own, they can choose the price.
They can choose the prices.
Yeah, I think that would be great, because then a certain amount is definitely going to be benefiting the community.
Yeah, well,
the other half will be paying for itself.
Yeah, let's put it this way. If we say, for example, okay, to make it sustainable, and you guys, you're gonna need water for irrigating, you're gonna need this and that, and there is no way that we make all of these projects, then this money that we're gonna earn from this nursery, it can be used for like for the future, for other projects.
Yeah.
They can be convinced in this way, but you really need to be honest with them, and they need to know about it. Because remember, once the nursery is done, they're gonna expect like your promise. Okay. Yeah. What we said the first year, is said like we're gonna build a well.
Yeah, but they need to decide if they actually own legally in this contract half the profits belong to them legally and go to this account, and I'm managing the account, and it's like, okay guys, what do you want to do with this community participatory event? And it's like, okay, this is your money, you're choosing what you do with it. Here we go. Now at these meetings we can be putting forward, it's like, look, you can build you can start maybe a new project, but maybe if you reinvest this in this existing project, next year you'll have even more money. So like we weigh up the pros and the cons.
Yeah, but
it's difficult.
Yeah, let's see what they think.
Yeah. Well, last night we discussed this, and people were really good. It was a magical vibe there. People were like, dude,
it might be different today.
Yeah, I bet.
Believe me.
Really?
Yeah. What they say is not what they think.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Well, there was a lovely vibe. Like
it felt very heartfelt.
Yeah.
I was really overwhelmed by like how enthusiastic and like interested they were in it. So.
Well, we'll see again how it goes today.
You need a couple of meetings, you know, to get like a consensus. You need a couple of meetings.
Okay.
Let them let it settle into the heads.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abdul.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm going to press stop here so we can save batteries.